Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. Thank you for joining the sesh with me, Justin Barone. I hope you're having a good day, a good week, a good month, a good year, a good life. I hope life is treating you right. If it's not, hopefully you could get some fun time, at least some relief, a little few smiles for the next half hour or so. You ever felt like you're in a room full of idiots and assholes? have you ever watched somebody that you thought was smart like praise a complete moron, and you're sitting there going like, what is happening right now? I've had a few instances in the last few years that, have kind of like surprised me because I've always busted my ass. I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm not saying I'm perfect. But I've always done a lot of things to try and, solidify my job. I've tried to have a good work ethic. I've tried to have a good analytical mind. I've tried to work on my emotional awareness. I've done all of these things to try and get ahead. And I've been in a couple environments where I'm looking at some people, and like, sure, you don't really want to judge a book by its cover, right? But like, you formulate opinions on people pretty quickly. And I know in a couple jobs that I had in my past, there were a couple people that did not impress me to the point where it was like maybe they should have been like, they must be like an extension of Neanderthal. You know what I mean? Like, you wonder how these people can like tie up their shoes in the morning, and you look and they're not wearing Velcro shoes, which is amazing. So you're like, how are you living? Those kinds of people. And I've been in like meetings at some companies where people will praise the person that is like this, even though on a daily basis you see that person being very ineffective and very detached and undereducated, right? So like, why? Why do we praise stupid? Is it because that once you're in a position of like management or power, you want to protect that so bad that you have to make sure that that simpletons stay in the right positions as like a little, simple brigade trying to protect your seat at the top? I don't understand that. Because I think that people that start to praise dummies, I think that all they want to do is either one, they're dumb themselves, okay? And two is that they want to praise somebody stupid because they're happier to see somebody dumber than them taking heat. Or maybe it's like a pity thing. Like, you praise dumb people so that they can achieve, better than they normally would because they're dumb and it's really going to suck. Whereas a smart person, an intelligent, interactive, analytical person, you you like discard, and you hope that because that they're smart enough to be able to like figure it out, right? Because there were times, dude, I talked to a guy once, and it was at a job I had, and we were talking about, I don't remember, but it was a bunch of us shooting the shit in the lunchroom, right? And somehow we got to talking about taking a shit, because that's what guys do in manufacturing. When they're sitting around and they're not driving big heavy equipment, they're talking about taking shits. Okay, so at one point, this guy tells me about how he wipes his ass and he gets shit on his hand. Like, you're in your 30s, dude. You can't avoid getting the poop on your fingers? Like, what are you not using toilet paper? Are you just wiping it with the hand? Like, is it direct contact to the poop? I don't get it, man. So a guy like that, and don't get me wrong, that's just a personal thing. I get it. But like, how do you not even wipe your own ass properly, And then you got to think about if that's where he's coming from before he even leaves the house in the morning, it's part of his morning routine. Imagine what happens throughout the day. Imagine the logic that goes in to that guy's day. Okay? And then that guy, you start to see that guy rise through the ranks. Why does that happen? You know why it happens? Is because it's easier to train somebody to do a job that you want done that is not going to give you pushback, that is trying to just maintain, right? So with somebody like that, you get like a clean slate that's just like, okay. Whereas I believe that somebody like myself, who may question some of the decisions and ask things, it comes across as shit disturbery. But you're really not trying to shit disturb. Like, that's just how you ask questions to find out the information, right? You may want to talk about it, but maybe that's like an overeducated look at it. Maybe you don't need to argue over everything or discuss everything that happens, right? Or why certain things are. Sometimes you just got to do. And I think that the dumber dude, okay, is the guy that's just going to do. So why wouldn't you want that guy to be around more? Because if you look at him and go, hey, Chuck, I need orange juice, Chuck's going to go get you some fucking orange juice. Whereas Justin might go, what happened to you? You break your legs? Like, you know? So I think that there's, I think that people are more willing to give, stupid people a thought because of that. I mean, look at what's going on in the States, dude. Dude, you telling me that right now that's not a whole room full of stupid? Like, I am not a political person. I am not trying to shit on one side or the other. But like, do they not realize that all they are continuing to do in terms of, hold each other accountable to things is make themselves, like, the US to me is just a bicker fest. Like, I see my kids do the exact same shit. They'll be at the dinner table, and one kid will be like, so in science today, we learned that, the sun is X amount of miles away. And then one of the other kids goes, actually, no, it's like 246 bajillion, quadrillion, and 2.2 kilometers away. And you're like, what? Like, that's what they're hanging their hat on? The U.S. has a lot of, like, heavy things going on right now. You also have a fucking president who thinks that it's the appropriate time to say that he hates his enemies at a funeral for a guy that was trying, supposedly, to bring unity. Like, that's a psychopath, dude. That's a dumb person. That's a dumb person that other dumb people, that's the smartest of the dumb. Where dumb people look up to that guy and they're like, yes. And he's like, I hate Rosie O'Donnell. Like, what the fuck? That has nothing to do with your job, dude. What are you doing? I don't fucking understand it. I don't understand. So sometimes, like, I feel like whenever I turn the TV on, I'm entering this room full of dumb people. I'm not saying everybody's dumb. I know some very intelligent people, but I feel like the room is getting full of dumb people. And I feel like smart people need to kind of maybe come out of their house more, because the problem is you're smart. You don't want to engage in the dumb. But I feel like we have to engage in the dumb, dude. Again, I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying from my perspective, that if I had a president who was very happy to tell everybody they're idiots in a discussion or in a speech to the UN, at the UN conference, I'd be worried. Because, like, you can't just go around swinging your dick, man. On the world stage, you have to measure your responses to things, dude. You may feel like that behind closed doors, but you don't need to say it out in the forefront. And, like, you don't like how people treat you with the media and fake news and all that shit, but then you just go around saying outlandish shit. Like, the funeral for a guy who was trying to bring up unity was not the spot, dude. to start talking about how you disagreed with them and you hate your enemies. Like, all you're doing is creating a bigger line. Like, do you really need a line? You've got enough of a line. Like, everything is so divided down there. Then you got the other side doing basically the same shit. But like, you don't, this guy doesn't make it easy to just leave it alone, you know? Because when you're in a room full of dummies, if you're trying to achieve notoriety, you have to be the smartest dummy. or the most, like, it's not even the smartest dummy. I think it's the most, like, manipulative dummy. But I think that's what's happening here is we are watching the accumulation of idiocy on both sides of the political spectrum. And I wonder constantly how in regular life, in stuff that doesn't, like, really directly affect, how there's so many idiots around. And, like, how, sure, you could say I'm an idiot. Maybe I am an idiot, but I don't think I'm an idiot, so I'm saying it. Everyone has a right to free speech, bro. But I remember recognizing, like I said, at a job, being like, oh, this guy beside me isn't as good. Because you always, if you're trying to get ahead in life, right, you're always trying to compare yourself to other people to a certain extent. Like, I'm not saying you should compare your value to another person, but I think that you should compare what they bring to a work environment, what you bring to a work environment, and compare that and see, which one is maybe better and where you could do better, right? You got to have that little bit of competition, and recognize that everybody's good at something. But when there's a consistent level of stupid that just runs as a baseline through all of life, right? You have to sit back and wonder at some point, like, okay, why is this happening? Is it because we're not vocal enough as, like, analytical, smart thinking people, and we're not doing it the same way? Is it that there's just, like, idiots beget idiots? So, the more unprotected stupid sex there is, the more stupid people you get? Is that what happens? I don't know. I'm posing the question. But I do know that I'm tired of being in this environment of dumb, where dumb is, like, acceptable. Like, I remember when we were kids, okay? If you were the dumb one, right? The teacher would try to teach you, and the other kids would leave you alone because you're like, what the fuck is happening, right? I feel like the dumb people have banded together and they have started to, like, push an agenda that you know what it is? This is probably going to be a little controversial maybe, but, like, I think the dumb is the new, like, it's the latest in movements, the dumb movement that we see kind of happening now, where everybody's just arguing and bickering and going banana pants over stupid shit that they really don't need to. Like, how can you be so divisive and then be like, I'm gonna fix the country? You can't fix the country when half the people hate you and half the people love you, or whatever the percentage is, right? Like, if you're a smart person, an intelligent person, and you're not just there for, like, power and prestige, then you're gonna measure your ability to interact and talk and discuss things, right? But when you're an idiot in the limelight and just trying to be there for, the prestige, you say outlandish shit. And you say shit that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, I get that a person doesn't agree with another person, entity, or business wholeheartedly, but like, you don't call a meeting and then go to that business and be like, hey, idiots. You guys are idiots, and this is why you're idiots. You're all morons. You are the equivalent to, people like monkeys typing Shakespeare. That's what's happening in this room because I'm the best and you're all idiots. Like, you can't go to a world stage conference and do that. And then get off the stage and be like, well, no, I love it. I love the UN. Do you? Because everything you just said seems to indicate that you think we're all idiots. Like, why is it that now our society is so ready to like just drive home sarcasm in every conversation? Like, you can walk by some dude in the street and act and like say, hey, how's it going? And he'll, hey, how's it going? And then you look at him, he's like, why are you looking at me? Like, that's how quick everything is happening nowadays. Like, the turn is so fast. And I think it's because we have like one leader for sure that is out there in the public being like, everyone is dumber than me. I want everybody to know that you're all dumber than me. I'm great. I do great things. I'm always in the moment of greatness. You can't do that, okay? It's just, I don't know what you expect, but I do know that everybody needs to sort of like limit the dumb. And I know that also when you see somebody that, like, when you interact with a dummy, the other problem with interacting with a dummy is that you're interacting with a dummy. So they don't recognize where their thought falls short. They don't understand where, they could have done a better job of maybe learning, and applying ideas. Like, you wonder if that maybe sometimes people that are in that that are that dumb, got beat as kids. Like, I don't know, it's the same, or maybe they just fell downstairs a lot. Like, did you have a hard time with your new feet? Like, there's such a level of stupid, and then there's a bigger level of praising that stupid. Dude, when did we start praising stupid? Like, I don't know when that happened. Do you know when that happened? Why do we never praise when two people get along? So, like, not that this is the ideal example, but, Trump and Elon Musk, they had a falling out. Then these guys are now talking again, right? And everybody's like, oh, look at me, I'm a whiny little bitch, but now I'm talking. Like, there was all this press about how it was bad, and they sarcastically made fun of it. And then you expect people to just be like, shouldn't you be like, oh, look, if you're the press, okay, shouldn't you be looking at that situation being like, so Elon Musk and President Trump are friends again, this is what's happening, and this might have been what they were talking about. Stick to that, right? But instead, the press now goes, Elon Musk and Trump were talking, oh, look at those two crybabies. Like, what? Why? Why do we need to do that? That's dumb on dumb. Let dumb happen, okay? But also, like, I don't know what I was trying to say with that, because I just lost it. I've been smoking spinach, pineapple starfruit, the CBG vape cart. Dude, it's so good. Gives me the giggles, makes me talkative. I've already done, if you're looking for a review on it, check out the Thoughts Off the Stem playlist on YouTube. Or sorry, the Sunday Strain Review playlist on Thoughts Off the Stem on YouTube. Check that out. Because of the CBG, it's a good time. It's nothing but happy, fun time. So I've been smoking that this sesh, and I just lost my train of thought. So what I'm saying is that we, I think, have been trying to praise stupid for too long. I think that a lot of the social justice warrior shit has kind of like rubbed off to a certain extent, where now all of a sudden there's a shift to uplifting dummies and trying to get them to succeed. And there's a turn on people that are willing to give their insight and opinion. I think that life and technology and everything that we're involved in has put us in a position where even in interpersonal relationships, we're more liable to take the dumb guy because the dumb guy's easier to deal with. You know? If you have an intelligent, analytical, smart friend, they're going to ask you a lot of questions. They're going to try to understand you. Like, do you really want to talk that long? That's what I'm getting out of this. Is that most people are more willing to praise an idiot so that they don't have to, explain themselves as well as they should. Oh. Yeah, that's what I think. Those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. I hope you enjoyed the sesh. Thank you for joining me, Justin Barone. I hope you come back next week on Thoughts Off the Stem on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, YouTube, Podchaser, Good Pods, Podbean, Pandora, wherever you get a podcast. It's out there. If you made it this far, leave a comment, tell me what you think, because dumb people are taking over. So tell me what you think. and subscribe to wherever you're listening or watching this on. If you want to know more about the spinach pineapple starfruit CBG vape pen, you can check it out on Thoughts Off the Stem on YouTube under the Sunday Strain Review playlist. I generally at some point in the videos put up somewhere around here at some point, maybe not now, one of those little like click twos, little tabs. So I'll put that up there somewhere, and you can just look at it if that's what you're looking for. But yeah, I think that rooms are filling with stupid, and we need to be careful. We need to watch our backs, okay? Because we don't want the stupid to overrun. It's very worrisome when you're watching it from like a third party perspective, and you have really no investment in it. You're just like, what are the crazy shit that's happening now? Anyway, yeah, leave a comment, subscribe, like, whatever you do. Thank you for joining the sesh. I hope you come back next week, and until next time, keep your lids low, baby.